Hello travelers and welcome back to the best career mode channel here on YouTube. Today we are talking about Football Manager 24, which is of course being released November 6th. We know that now. And nearer the time I'm going to do a bigger video on FM24 about our plans for the game this year. Now, if you weren't aware, we did do an FM23 series, Manager Reputation Challenge, where you start at half a star and have to get to 5-star. It's one of my favorite challenges to do in FM. I love doing it. But we done a few episodes and I was loving it. It was my favorite ever series, and my PC ended up breaking, unfortunately, during this time when we was doing this series. I lost the save file, and after that, I barely played FM23 because I fell out of love with it. You know, I didn't want to come back like 3 months later and continue a series that we've been doing because it didn't really make sense. So, unfortunately, we lost that series, and we didn't really do much FM23 content after that. But we have big plans for FM24, and hopefully we can start to get ready for it now. For the beta, we're going to be doing an Arsenal save. I am an Arsenal fan, so the beta comes out 2 weeks before the full release, November 6th. We're going to do a little Arsenal save. Now, if we're really enjoying it and it's going well, maybe we'll continue it into the full game, and then the full game save, the full game series that we're going to be doing on FM24, ladies and gentlemen, is Regents FC. I'm wearing the top right now, ladies and gentlemen. You can get your own link in the description. Regents FC is something that we've been doing on this channel since like 2017 when we first started this YouTube channel. Our first ever series was Football Manager. That was Arsenal. But our first ever live stream series was Regents FC, and we absolutely loved it. I mean, back then it was only like a couple hundred people subscribed to this channel. Now we're almost on 30,000, and I think Regents FC finally has the chance to shine. What it entails is starting in the lower leagues of England. I'm going to wait for a proper database. Start in the lower leagues. We have custom tops, custom badges, custom stuff like that. All the custom background is made and everything. And we're going to take them from the depth of England all the way, hopefully, to Premier League glory. It's going to be like a Park to Prem sort of situation. Lower league to Legends. And I can't wait. But more information coming on that in the future. Today, we're going to be discussing FM24. Now on Twitter, Football Manager tweeted out this when it loads. Our most intelligent transfer market. Discover how improvements to AI squad building, transfer decision making, and finances will make your world more immersive. So we have it here. This is my first time reading through it. We're going to go through it, see what we like, talk about it a bit, and get excited for FM24. If you are excited for Football Manager, please do leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. A lot of FM content is coming this year on FM24 alongside EAFC 24. Again, Football Manager was literally our first ever gameplay video, was Football Manager. I've always wanted FM to succeed in this channel. I know it's not as big as FIFA, of course, but hopefully we can still have some fun on the saves. So, smarter transfers, squad building, and finance. Our continued drive to mirror developments in the real footballing world make Football Manager 24 the most complete addition in this series. Yeah, now, first and foremost, if you've not been following along with FM recently, they have already announced a few months ago that FM24, for the most part, is going to be very, very similar to FM23 because on Football Manager 25 next year, they are moving to a brand new engine. For the first time in like 20 years, they're moving to the Unity engine. I know there's a lot of shenanigans with Unity at the moment, but hopefully they're all good. They're moving to a brand new engine. It's going to be pretty much a brand spanking new Football Manager experience. So this is, in a way, a farewell to the Football Manager that we know. So it's both exciting and also kind of scary diving into something brand new after playing the same Football Manager games for the most part of 20 years now. But hopefully they add these nice additions which sound pretty decent so far. They're talking about AI transfers, and AI transfers have always been a big problem with the game. I know there's also a set piece little tidbit coming out in the future as well. Set pieces is something a lot of people have wanted improved. So fingers crossed, FM24 will be an upgraded version of FM23, and then FM25 is going to be, hopefully, out of this world. On the recruitment front, we've significantly improved the decision-making and team selection capabilities of AI managers. You'll also see that your game world better reflects the current trends of the real-life transfer market. Does that mean people are going to Saudi every single transfer? Does that mean everyone goes for 100 mil minimum these days? Oh, you're going to want a lot of money. Starting lower leagues, good luck buying anyone, ladies and gentlemen. They're all going to be in Saudi. Brace for more transfer battles. The global transfer market is continuously evolving, and the most recent transfer window was unprecedented in several ways. As a result of these recent global developments, we have made some wider coding changes to FM24 to try and reflect those trends in every career. Firstly, to ensure that the way that your rivals buy and sell players resonates with a clear identity. We've done a lot of work under the hood to improve their transfer market decision making. Again, very, very good, because sometimes you get teams buying a world-class player for like 150 mil and they bench them every single game, or they buy a random kid that you've never heard of before and they, you know, replace Erling Haaland up front or something like that. Some silly decisions have been made in the past Football Manager games by the AI, so seeing them have a bit more sensibility and a bit more of a tactical approach will be exciting. With AI managers now programmed to consider factors like form and reputation more so than ever before, AI managers are now better geared up to recognize imbalances in their squad makeup and will take their tactical style into consideration. Fantastic. Much more when shortlisting players. In essence, this means that they'll look to fill attribute gaps in their squad. So a manager using a gegenpress approach will look specifically for midfielders with high stamina and work rate if they determine that the squad is missing such a player. That is awesome. That is incredible, because again, sometimes you get these teams with a clear tactical approach, but none of their players feel that tactical approach. You know, they'll be whipping balls into like a 5'2" striker or something like that and not really making sense, or passing out the back, but their centre-backs have no passing capability, so they're just passing straight to your strikers. Hopefully with this now, a bit more common sense from the AI managers. That's all we've been asking for a few years now in the transfer market. So far, so good. Approach will now place a stronger focus on a player's potential ability rather than their current ability when players are looking for backup rotation options to an established... That's literally what I said just a minute ago. Instead of buying wonder kids, that, you know, not even wonder kids, just young players that no one's heard of to replace like an Erling Haaland up front or something like that, your star player. Now they're actually going to look at the potential ability as rotation players and then through rotation build them up to hopefully reach their potential. Improved logic also applies to outgoing transfers, with AI clubs now making much more considered and contextual decisions concerning loans for young players. If it was felt that a player was lacking in terms of physicality, the club would try to facilitate a move to a more physical team to improve that aspect. That's pretty cool as well. So if someone isn't developing a certain stat that they want, like strength, physicality, speed, they'll send them to a team that needs a player with those stats to help develop him a bit better. This suite of changes means that your opponents will make more informed, reactive squad building decisions. It means that you will face more competition in the transfer market, and that when your rivals make mistakes, they'll feel more authentic and realistic. See, that's the thing as well. You don't just want them to sign the best players of all time. You want them to make mistakes in real life, you know? Take Pepe at Arsenal, for example. 72 mil club record transfer at the time, and I think we've just sold him for like 140,000. So sometimes mistakes can happen. Variations to player development. To complement the changing recruitment decisions of your opposition managers, there are some upgrades to the way your rivals pick their matchday squads. So previously, AI teams were less likely to pick youth prospects in the first team because they had low current ability scores. Now, those talents have a higher probability of being on the bench and will see more playing time when teams are ahead or controlling games in the latter stages. We have also worked on how the AI prioritize matches throughout the season, which is see improved rotation. Oh, that's also a very similar thing happens to FIFA in years past, where all of a sudden a team just won't play their best 11 against you. You know, it'll be like first v second in the league or a cup final, and they're playing a bunch of youth prospects or like people you've never heard of before, and you're thinking, well, why are they not playing their best team? You know, you're taking an easy win, but you also want some competition and realism. So at least now it looks like they prioritize matches throughout the season and they know when to rotate. Again, it's all good on paper. We're yet to see it in action. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they actually get this all to work, because just by listening to it, it sounds like a huge improvement so far. We'll see an accelerated improvement in their teenage years before hitting their potential ceiling earlier on. Meanwhile, a new system has been introduced to recognize late developers or those players who don't break through until slightly later. That's pretty cool. The other aspects of transfer we've made amends to is in-game transfer histories. Here, we've upgraded the user interface and given you the ability to filter league transfer histories by ins and out. This is cool, late developers, because not every player, not every wonder kid, you know, it starts their peak at 21 or 22 or 20, 19, whatever. Some people, you know, start to hit their stride at 25, 26, maybe even 28 or 29, you know, and fully start to get game time and reach their peak. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Instead of buying, because usually what happens on FM, I like older players, but the vast majority of Football Manager players, you know, there's always these memes about a new Argentinian wonder kid taking like your starting striker's spot because he's turning 29 or turning 30. As soon as they turn 30, majority of people just throw them in the bin and sign a new wonder kid. So hopefully with late developers, you can keep, you know, developing those younger players in the mid to late 20s, and hopefully they can still reach that peak, which also sounds pretty interesting. Balancing the books. Connected to these transfer market changes, we've also made several upgrades to the finances system for FM24 to better reflect the way it works in modern football. I just realized I could zoom in. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. I apologize. Probably easier to read now. Across the game, we've added a number of new items and improved some existing ones to provide you with a greater clarity of your income and expenditure throughout the season. You also notice that key financial information is surfaced more clearly when you need it. There is a little screenshot here as well. Can I open that in a new tab? Let's get a look. So again, it looks very much like FM23. If you haven't played FM23, it looks very much the same. New color scheme though, purple and orange, which is interesting. So, insufficient transfer budget is what it says. The club currently does not have enough funds and will need to regain at least 20 mil before we continue to spend anything. If enough money isn't generated within 1 week, the board will take matters. Oh, this is new. Transfer window open. Finances. So the finances, you can see, is a negative 20 million. Original budget was 20. Amount needed. Oh, so they give you a goal on how much money you need to bring into the club before you can continue to spend. This is massive, especially for lower teams. You know, if you're an Arsenal, a Man City, a PSG, you might not run into trouble like this unless you're terrible at managing your finances. But being a lower down team, like we're being, Regents FC, we're being a low down, no one's heard of us football team in the lower English leagues. This could very well happen where we run out of transfer budget in our finances and we have to regain money, maybe by selling players. This might force people to sell their best players too, instead of hoarding on to everyone. This looks very, very interesting indeed. I like the look of it. Any new things on the left here? No, this all looks the same. But that looks interesting. I think especially for lower down teams, like I say, smaller teams, let's read a bit about it. In certain instances where you've overspent your available funds, you'll notice that we've incorporated negative transfer budgets. If you go into the red, you'll receive an inbox item that informs you that you need to either sell players or transfer clauses in order. Wow. So they're literally forcing, if you don't manage your finances, because normally if you go into the red, nothing bad really happens technically. You can buy whoever you want, go into the red, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas now, you may be forced to sell your best player. Otherwise, you can't spend any more money and you're going to be going bankrupt. That is big for lower down teams, which is what we're going to be doing on the full release. So also kind of scary. So what happens if you can't? If you're unable to generate enough money within the agreed time period, your board will take control of your budget and begin to sell your players. Oh my, so if you can't generate the funds that you need, your board will say, hold up, let me take over. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Now we have the money. Could you imagine, like, your star player, like, you're in League 2, you just got promoted to League 2, you've overspent a bit in the summer transfer window, and all of a sudden, your board take over, and they ship off your best player. Could you imagine how frustrating that would be, but also realistic, because you need the money, and if you're not getting it, the board will take it into their own hands. I like this. I like this addition, and especially, normally I wouldn't really care because we're being Arsenal or whatever, but the fact that we're being a low-down Regents FC Creator Club team, this is very exciting because it's going to pertain to us potentially. Navigating further financial fair play into, FFP, I mean, FFP is the talk of the town, when Chelsea are out here spending like 2 billion a transfer window, you have PSG, you have all these Saudi clubs just throwing money at players. FFP has to be spoken about. Should a club breach? Let me know in the comments if you played FM. Have you ever breached FFP before? I've never breached FFP, which I find amazing because I've spent a lot of money before, but I've never actually broken it. The club's administrative team have provided you with a summary of the FFP. So board investment max 90 mil, finances 3-year period max 15 mil, currently 97 mil. There are now sanctions, there are now new sanctions in place, including squad size and transfer spending restrictions, as well as fines and competition income being withheld. If your club is close to breaching the rules, there'll be a note in the finances menu to explain, that your wage budget is locked. So they can lock your wage budget if you're about to break FFP. This is for the bigger clubs, of course. How interesting. You'll now notice that when a club is placed into administration, you'll receive a new news item that shows their net debt, profit and loss graphs, overall expenditure, and overall income. Do not go into administration, ladies and gentlemen. Try not to get there. I know it can be tough, but try your best. New and dynamic income streams. It's not just expenditure where we've made changes. Now there's greater fluctuation on the income your club receives, thereby creating more dynamism, and intrigue in every career. That's a word. We've included fixed length TV deals. The new items indicating these show changes in a deal's value and what percentage effect that has on the competition prize money for the season's new agreement covers. Interesting. So new TV rights. As you can see, SI League TV rights. If we go onto here, Emily Dobson, the regen face, is looking a 3-year television deal worth a total of 1.6 billion, an increase of 11% per season. Relegate teams will subsequently see an uplift in their parachute payments as a result of the new deal. So new TV prizes up 11%. What it was last year, what it was this year. The parachute payment plan. Interesting. A bit more information, which is always welcome in a game like FM. A bit more information, a bit more of an addition of what is actually happening behind the scenes, which I like the sound of. The greater information is all designed to improve the clarity of how finances work in games. Good, because I'm bad with numbers and I'm bad with finances. So this is actually a welcome addition. Less money will now be described as general or other in the finances menu. And committed spend calculations for future transfers have been improved. Another screenshot here, ticket prices. So you can also see the ticket price projections and whatnot. Again, anything to do with numbers I'm really bad at, but this is a welcome addition because it's helpful. It's really, really helpful. For clubs in the lower divisions, they will now turn professional at the point of promotion rather than at the end of the season. Conversely, there'll be more discernible sporting and financial setbacks from not switching back from professional to semi-professional. Ah, very nice. Most intelligent market yet. The upgrades to AI squad building and finances system dramatically level up the immersion in FM24, adding greater variety. Dynamism, again, I don't know this word. Dynamism, I know it's like dynamics, but cool word. And competition to every career. In the coming weeks, you'll learn more about this year's other features, including a new intermediary role. And how they'll help you offload players. The introduction of targets for players. So, is this like you can give like Gabriel Jesus scored 20 goals a game? You can give him targets like that? That would be awesome. Maybe that will like force them to play better, maybe? Who knows? Changes to the match engine, always welcome. Listen, the match engine for a long time now has been a bit poopy in FM, okay, SI? This is always welcome. A refresh to set pieces. Again, everyone's wanted a refresh to set pieces, so I'm intrigued about that. And much more in the general gameplay blogs. Make sure you also sign up to that as more future content will be released there throughout October. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the conclusion of FM24 news. Coming out November 6th, a lot more news to come. I think I'll do one of these videos for all of them. I've done them for Baldur's Gate when they used to release their things, and they've done really well on this channel. So I want to start building the hype for FM now because I always love FM. I'm really excited for our Regions FC career, and I'm really excited to dive in to a new FM game for the year. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your most looked forward to feature of FM24, and are you excited for our Let's Play series? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Howard Tuvey, also known as Ryzen Kid. We'll catch you in the next blog post from Sports Interactive. Much of as always, take care and peace. And also, before you leave, click on one of these two videos. I think they're like up here, that left and right. They're somewhere on the screen, right? There are. Yeah, there you go. Click on one of them. Oh. Thank you for watching. If you click on one of the videos, you can move on to the next one. Make sure you stay on this channel though, Regions Kid channel. You know, subscribe if you haven't already. 50,000 around the corner. One of these, hey, you know.